magic. Today, we are going to be giving and following directions. When you give someone directions, it is very important to be absolutely clear about how far you want them to go and in which direction you want them to turn. So, let's take a look at our learning sentences for today. I can follow directions to correctly follow a path. I can write directions for someone else to correctly follow a path. Today, we are going to focus on giving directions in right angles and steps forward. Now, we can give more than one instruction at a time, and a whole set of instructions is called a program. Now, those of you who have been practicing your coding already know about programs. When you are coding, you are writing a set of instructions for the computer to follow. Those of you who have been practicing your coding will find this lesson super easy because you've already had lots of practice. Well, let's start with something simple. Take a look at this snowboarder. We are going to tell this snowboarder how to get to the finish line without crashing into any trees. We are going to program this snowboarder to navigate the course successfully. We're going to write down what we're doing on our mini whiteboards. I think I'm going to need to get closer to mine. So, you go and get your mini whiteboard and marker. I will go and sit right next to mine. See you in a minute. Do you have everything? Fabulous. So, we need to tell the snowboarder how to get to the finish line without crashing into any trees. So take a good look. What does he need to do first? First, he will need to go forward 1 square. It's important to write your instructions clearly. He needs to go forward 1 square. Now, I don't want to write the whole word forward. It's not really necessary. So if I do an F, I know that means forward. How many spaces forward? 1. Okay, let's go back to the snowboarder and take a look. He needs to change direction now. If he keeps going forward, he's going to crash into some trees, so he needs to turn. Do I need to turn a right angle turn clockwise or anti-clockwise? Take a close look. Does he need to turn clockwise or anti-clockwise? Very good. He needs to make a right angle turn anti-clockwise. So, again, I don't want to write right angle turn anti-clockwise because that will take a lot of time and take up a lot of space, which is unnecessary. If I do an R and an A, I will know that means a right angle turn. And if I do an AC, I know that means anti-clockwise. So our instructions to our snowboarder so far are forward 1, right angle turn, anti-clockwise. Okay, what does he need to do next? Let's take a look. Very good. He needs to move forward again. How many squares forward does he need to move? Excellent. 1 square forward. So again, we have an F for forward and a 1. Notice how the instructions are underneath each other. When we are writing these instructions, we don't write the instructions next to each other. We write them under each other. Those of you who have been coding will notice this as well. The code is always underneath each other. Okay, so forward 1, right angle turn anti-clockwise, forward 1. Let's look at him again and see what he needs to do. Yes, very good. He needs to turn again. Does he need to turn clockwise or anti-clockwise? Look at it carefully. Good. He needs to make a right angle turn clockwise. So, RA means right angle and C means clockwise. Now what? Look at the snowboarder again. Yes, he needs to move forward. Look carefully at him. How many spaces forward does he need to move? Count carefully. Very good. He needs to move forward 6 spaces. Is he there yet? No. That's right. For every turn and for every forward move, we need a separate instruction. So, now he's going to turn again. Look at the picture carefully. Very good. Is he making a clockwise or an anti-clockwise turn? Excellent. He is making a right angle turn clockwise. Now what? Look again. Excellent. That was fairly easy. Forward 1. Okay? Another turn. Look at it carefully. Is he moving clockwise or anti-clockwise? Good. This one is a right angle turn anti-clockwise. Last thing. Take a look. And what is his last move? Yes, forward. How many squares forward? Good. The last instruction is forward 2. There we have it. Very nicely done. Now, let's see him follow these instructions that we have just given him. Forward 1, right angle turn anti-clockwise. Forward 1, right angle turn clockwise. Forward 6, right angle turn clockwise. Forward 1, right angle turn anti-clockwise. Forward 2. Excellent job. He didn't crash. Fabulous. Now, take a look at this picture. Write a program on your whiteboard for this snowboarder to reach the finish line. Don't forget to include the right angle turns and remember to say how many squares you want him to travel each time. Keep in mind that forwards and turns always follow each other. Okay? So after a forward move, you will have a right angle, turn. What you are figuring out each time, how many squares forward, and whether the turn is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Also remember, you will need a separate instruction for each turn and each forward move. Okay? This is definitely going to take you a few minutes. Okay, you really have to think about this one. So when the picture comes back up, pause the video. Pause the video and look at the picture carefully. That's how you're going to get your instructions correct. Okay? Should take you a few minutes to do. Once you're done, press play, and then we're going to go through the instructions together so you can see if you're correct. All right? Well done. Did you finish? Good. Now, there were 5 moves that the snowboarder had to make to reach the finish line. So, if you don't have 5 moves, or if you have more than 5 moves, definitely a bit of a mistake there. So, we know that forwards and right angles always follow each other in these programs when we're giving these directions. So, first, he had to move forward. How many squares forward did he have to move? Good, 6. If you wrote forward 6 for your first instruction, well done. Give yourself a tick. Excellent job. Next, he needed to turn. Okay? What was his first turn? Was it a right angle turn, clockwise or anti-clockwise? Good job. It was a right angle turn, anti-clockwise. So, if you wrote your second instruction, right angle turn, anti-clockwise, go ahead and give yourself a tick. Okay? So, what's the next instruction? Now he needs to move forward again. How many squares forward does he have to go? Good. 1 square forward. Forward 1 is your next instruction. So if you got that right, go ahead and give yourself a tick. Good job. Okay, another turn. What turn did he have to make now? Clockwise turn or an anti-clockwise turn? Good. He needed to make a clockwise turn. There it is. So, if you got it right, give yourself a tick. Last move to get to the finish line. He needed to go forward again. How many squares forward did he need to go? Good. 3 squares forward. So, if you got that right, go ahead and give yourself a tick. So here's our program. Forward 6, right angle turn anti-clockwise. Forward 1, right angle turn clockwise. Forward 3. Very good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a look at your activity book 2C page 12. Right, we're going to look at that and we are going to do some of that, all of that, together, you and me. So go ahead and get your workbook. When you're ready, we'll continue, okay? Are you ready? Do you have your activity book 2C page 12 in front of you? Excellent. Now, let's take a look at this page. Now, there are 2 sections. let's start from the top. Here we have our snowboarder again, and 2 sets of instructions. We need to find the correct set of instructions that will lead our snowboarder to the finish. So, let's draw each set of instructions onto the map so we can see which one is correct. So, A, go forward 4 squares. So let's draw a line going forward 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Have you drawn your line? Excellent. So now we need to make 1 right angle turn clockwise. Okay, now remember, when we are making a turn, we are staying on the same square. We're just changing the direction in which we are facing. So we're changing the direction so that instead of facing to the right, we're now facing down. Okay? Now we need to go forward 3 squares. So we need to draw a line straight down 3 squares. Okay. Now, it's asking us to make 1 right angle turn clockwise. Now we're facing straight down. So which direction is clockwise? Remember the clock. Good. To make 1 right angle turn clockwise, we're going this way. Now, we're going to move forward 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Make 1 right angle turn anti-clockwise. There we are. Well, that's the last instruction. Are we at the flag yet? Nope. Guess those aren't it. Snowboarder A was obviously not the correct set of instructions. So now let's take a look at Snowboarder B and draw those instructions on the map to see if they are the correct ones. Here we go. Okay, now looking at these 2 sets of instructions, I can see that the first instruction is the same for both of them. Forward 4 squares. So let me draw a line going forward 4 squares. Okay, make 1 right angle turn clockwise. That's the same as it was before as well. So we turn clockwise. Remember that a turn, when we are turning, we are staying on the same square. We're just changing the direction that we face. Okay, so now we're facing straight down. And we go forward 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. Here's where the 2 instructions start changing. This set of instructions, it's asking you to make 1 right angle turn anti-clockwise. Well, let's do that. Which direction are we facing now? Very good. So, now we go forward 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. Good. Draw that line on the map so we know what path we have been following. Okay, now we're making another right angle turn anti-clockwise. Okay, here we go. Remember, we are not leaving this square. We're just changing the direction that we're facing. So now we are facing straight up. and we need to go forward 1 square. So 1 square forward. Now, a right angle turn clockwise. Which direction are we facing now? Yes, we're still in the same square, but we're facing to the right. What's the next instruction? Very good. Go forward 2 squares. So we'll go forward 2 squares. Last turn. Make 1 right angle turn clockwise. So which direction will we be pointing now? Good. We're going to be pointing straight down. Now we go forward 2 squares. There we are. 1, 2, and we're at the flag. I hope you drew that path nice and clearly on your workbook. Now circle instructions B, because those are the right instructions for you to follow the path from beginning to end without crashing. Now, let's take a look at the bottom of that workbook. Okay, at the bottom of this workbook page, we have a snowboarder and a blank. There is no path here. Well, that's because we are going to make a path. I am going to draw a path onto this grid, and I want you to copy it. So, take a look at the path. Here we go. It goes this way, and then down, and then that way to the flag. Now, if you want to add some trees or maybe some rocks to make your picture more interesting, you can. But what you need to do now is to write the instructions that you need for the snowboarder to follow to go from where he is now to the flag safely, following the path that we just drew. Okay, again, this is going to take you a few minutes. So, pause the video, work it out, write it, and then when you're ready, press play again, and we will check your work. Okay? Have fun! Did you work it out? Good. Now, if you wrote your instructions properly, there should have been 5. Remember, we start with a forward, and then we have an angle, and then a forward, and then an angle, and so on. That is how we write these instructions, moving from forward movement to turning one after the other. So, first we moved forward. How many squares forward did we move? That's right, 4. Forward 4 should have been your first instruction. Did you get it right? Give yourself a tick. Next, we needed to turn. Now, was the turn we needed clockwise or anti-clockwise? Good. It was a clockwise turn. So if you got that right, give yourself a tick. If at any point you realize you got an instruction wrong and you want to pause the video to correct your work and then come back and check it with me again, go ahead and do that. Okay? If you went, oh goodness, I think I got the next one wrong, and you want to fix it now before we get there, go ahead and do that. Okay? So, forward 4, right angle turn clockwise. Now we're moving forward again. How many squares forward are we moving? Very good. We're moving 4 squares forward again. So, if you got that right, go ahead and tick it. So, next we have another turn. Is this turn a clockwise turn or an anti-clockwise turn? Very good. It is an anti-clockwise turn. Excellent job. If you got that right, go ahead and tick it. Are we done? No. We have one more forward move. How many spaces forward did we have to go to reach the end? Yes, 2 more spaces and we were at the end. Fabulous job. Excellent. So pleased. Now you're going to work on page 13. You are going to do that by yourselves, without me, although Mummy and Daddy can help if you need. Let's take a look at it. Here we have an alien. This poor little alien wants to come and visit us on Earth. He needs a path. You are going to figure out 3 different paths for him. In the first path, the alien is going to start on the moon. So you will draw a path from the moon to the Earth and then write the instructions. If you notice for that one, the first 2 instructions are already there. You just need to finish them. You do not have to write an instruction on every line. In fact, for some of them, you don't need very many instructions at all. So most of the lines will stay blank, and that's fine. They've given you lots of lines just in case you need them, but you do not have to finish all of them. Okay? The second path that you will draw will be from the planet to the Earth. So you draw that path and then write the instructions to get from the planet to the Earth. Then you draw a path from the sun to the Earth and write the instructions. Now, the path can cross. You don't have to avoid the other paths that you have made. Okay? So, I hope that you enjoyed these activities. I most certainly enjoyed doing them. I will see you in just a minute. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on giving and following directions. Now, you should have done page 12 in your activity book 2C with me. So now, you need to do page 13. Do page 13 in your activity book 2C. Take a photo of it and then upload it to your portfolio on Class Dojo for your teacher to see. Have a wonderful, happy and magical day. Goodbye.